March 2024, Zaporizhzhia front line, a Russian Pantsir-S1 air defense system, worth over $15 million, was completely destroyed. The weapon that destroyed it, an FPV drone assembled from scrapped components, costing less than $800. The footage went viral. Headlines everywhere read, $800 defeats $15 million. Every single one of those headlines missed the point, the real story. Before that drone hit its target, the Pantsir-S1 had no missiles left to intercept it. Its ammunition had been completely exhausted by days of low-cost harassment beforehand. That is the real answer. Not $800 defeated $15 million. The attacking side used a swarm of drones totaling less than $50,000 to turn a $15 million air defense system into scrap metal before the first genuine attack drone even arrived. The system had already lost. This is tactical trace. We don't worship the tech tree, we only ask one question: does it work? First, let's talk about what these $800 weapons actually are. FPV drones, first-person view drones, carbon fiber frames, commercial-grade motors, off-the-shelf flight controllers. Every component sold openly on the civilian market. An experienced technician can assemble one in hours. At scale, the unit price drops below $300. By the end of 2024, Ukraine's officially disclosed monthly production had exceeded 100,000 units. Russia's numbers were comparable. These are not workshop products. They are assembly lines, procured and consumed in bulk like ammunition. By late 2024, FPV drone kill records on the Ukrainian battlefield covered T-72 tanks, BMP infantry fighting vehicles, Pantsir-S1 air defense systems, supply trucks, artillery positions, and infantry columns caught in the open. According to Ukraine's Ministry of Defense, FPV drones had become one of the most cost-efficient weapons on the battlefield in terms of kills per dollar spent, far outpacing traditional artillery. The solution seems obvious: develop better counter-drone systems, restore the exchange ratio to a rational range. But there is a problem, one that the architects of modern air defense never seriously addressed. When the missile you use to intercept costs 1,000 times more than what you're intercepting, are you defending yourself, or are you fighting a war you've already lost on paper? Let's look at the real decision trap air defense systems face against FPV drones. Modern air defense is built on one core assumption: threats are expensive, so interception is worth it. A Russian Ki-A-101 cruise missile costs between $1 million and $3 million. A Su-34 strike fighter costs over $36 million. Firing a Patriot PAC-3 interceptor at roughly $3.4 million per missile to stop them is economically rational, because the targets protected are worth far more than the interception cost. FPV drones invert that logic completely. When an $800 drone closes in, the air defense system has three options. Every one of them is a loss. Option 1. Intercept. Use the Patriot. 3 times $4 million against $800, an exchange ratio of 4,250 to 1. Use Israel's Iron Dome interceptors, roughly $50,000 each, still 62.5 to 1. Use Russia's Tunguska anti-aircraft artillery, cheaper ammunition, but the accuracy problem against fast, small targets remains. Every option bleeds money. Option 2. Don't intercept. If the target is a $3 million M1 Abrams, a radar installation, or a brigade commander, the cost may far exceed any interceptor missile. Option 3. Use cannons and close-range weapons. Effective in theory, but FPV drones are small, fast, and erratic. Real-world data from Germany's Gepard anti-aircraft vehicles in Ukraine shows ammunition consumption rates far exceeding projections, with hit rates against drone swarms proving difficult to sustain. 3 options, all losing. But the truly fatal issue isn't this three-way losing choice. It's a hidden vulnerability that was never written into the air defense design manual, one that only reveals itself in real combat. Air defense missile stockpiles are finite. A Patriot PAC-3 battery typically carries no more than 16 interceptors per launcher. Resupply cycles are long. Before 2022, Raytheon's Patriot missile monthly production was approximately 48 units. Emergency wartime expansion pushed it to roughly 80 per month. Ukraine's consumption rate has already created gaps in U.S. domestic strategic reserves, with multiple NATO allies hitting the floor of their own stockpiles. Now imagine this scenario. The attacking side sends 30 FPV drones each day, targeting the radar station direction today, harassing the supply line tomorrow, approaching the city perimeter the day after, forcing the air defense system to keep firing. 3 days later, a battery's interceptors have dropped from 16 to 4. On the 4th day, a real key S-101 cruise missile comes in low. Are those 4 interceptors enough? This is the precise strategic logic behind the Houthi campaign in the Red Sea. Since November 2023, the Houthis have continuously struck shipping and U.S. Navy vessels using low-cost drones and reverse-engineered anti-ship missiles, forcing Arleigh Burke-class destroyers to expend SM-2 and SM-6 interceptors. Each SM-6 costs over $4 million. By early 2024, the U.S. had consumed dozens of high-end interceptors in the Red Sea, with some destroyers forced to return to port early for missile resupply. The Houthis didn't sink a single U.S. warship, but they forced the world's most powerful navy to worry about how to replenish its missile inventory. In April 2024, Iran fired over 300 drones and missiles at Israel. Israel and its allies intercepted more than 99%, a near-perfect tactical victory. But the estimated cost of that interception exceeded $1 billion. Iran's total attack cost was estimated at under $100 million. Israel won that battle and lost $900 million doing it. Militaries around the world recognize this problem. Their proposed solutions are more unsettling than the problem itself. Military engineers have proposed 4 countermeasures. Each is effective. Each has costs it cannot escape. Electronic warfare jamming. Cut the FPV's video and control signal. Effective, but combat data from Ukraine confirms that FPV drones can fly pre-programmed autonomous routes after signal loss, still hitting targets on predetermined trajectories. The electronic warfare frequency battle between Russia and Ukraine has evolved into a weekly arms race, and heavy jamming simultaneously disrupts friendly communications, a double-edged sword on the battlefield. Laser weapons. Raytheon's high-energy laser systems and Israel's Iron Beam are theoretically optimal, with interception costs of $3 to $5 per shot, but Iron Beam has yet to complete full operational deployment. Existing laser systems lose dramatic effectiveness in rain, clouds, and dust, and the weather in eastern Ukraine's winters and across the Red Sea region is not always the clear sky lasers require. Dedicated close-range air defense. Germany's Gepard, America's Avenger, Israel's Iron Dome, each with its limits. Iron Dome's radar is optimized for rockets and has detection blind spots for low altitude, slow, small targets. The Gepard's cannon solution burns through ammunition rapidly and barrel lifespan degrades sharply under high-intensity use, and the acquisition and maintenance cost of these systems still far exceeds the cost of the targets they intercept. Drone versus drone. Ukraine has begun testing interceptor drones, and DARPA is advancing similar programs, but as of now, no solution has achieved reliable large-scale interception of FPV swarms. Engineering complexity, response speed, and scalable deployment remain 3 unsolved problems that no one has cracked simultaneously. Every solution addresses one dimension of the problem, none of them closes the mathematical loophole. Because at its core, this is not a technical problem, it is an economic one. As long as the industrial threshold for building an FPV drone remains lower than the threshold for building a precision-guided interceptor, this equation has no technical solution. FPV drones are not the ultimate weapon that ends modern warfare. They are a mirror, reflecting what the air defense systems we spent decades and trillions of dollars building were actually built on. That foundation. Attacks are expensive, so defense is worth the investment. When that foundation fails, when the attacker can produce weapons 1,000 times cheaper than interceptors at assembly line speed, when the battlefield shifts from a few expensive precision strikes to endless cheap attrition, the old logic is not defeated, it is bypassed. Every day in Ukraine validates this conclusion. Every Houthi strike in the Red Sea validates it. The night Iran's 300 drones cost Israel over $1 billion in interception validates it. These are Tactical Trace's 2 absolute truths. Absolute Truth 1. The most effective weapon is not always the most advanced weapon. Sometimes it is the cheapest, the most numerous, the one least worth intercepting with a precision-guided missile. Absolute Truth 2. When you are forced to spend expensive ammunition shooting at cheap targets, you have already lost the economics of the war, regardless of what the scoreboard says. A $1,000 drone will not destroy a $10 billion air defense system. It just needs to make the system keep firing until the missiles are gone, until the real threat arrives, and there is nothing left to stop it. This is Tactical Trace. We don't worship the tech tree, we only ask one question: does it work?